Hello, everybody. Of course, welcome back to another episode of X Talking Ish with your boy X.
And your boy Ish.
Welcome back, Ish. If you of course have been tuning in recently, Ish has left us due to some technical difficulties, but he is back once again. And you already know what to do when the intro. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you like and share this broadcast. If you are on Facebook page, please make sure you go ahead and like our Facebook page at X Talking Ish. As well, if you are on YouTube, please make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please. And go ahead and hit that notification bells for shows like this one in the future.
Ding.
Thank you for that, Ish. And as well, if you are on Twitter, please make sure you go ahead and check us out on Periscope on Twitter because I'm on Twitter right now and I'm about to go ahead and retweet this show so more people can check us out.
Almost deaf, most deaf.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And y'all already know what it is. We are here for NFL Week 14 recap. Ish. It seems like we just started this last week. We already in Week 14.
Week 14.
It's going by quick, and we are, of course, here to recap what we saw not just last night, but going all the way back to Thursday night, as always. And before we end the show, we have to remind everybody that there will be Saturday night football games coming up very soon. So make sure that you do not forget that the NFL will be moving games from Sunday to Saturday as well, too. So we will definitely keep y'all informed on that. So before we do that, again, let's get into the slate of Week 14. Before we do that, let's get to the comment section. Dave McQueen says, dope road and feet kicked up. I don't know exactly what he means by that. I think he means that the dope that he is, checking out, as in dope TV, is rolled up on
Mm-hmm.
his couch. That is what
Yeah,
he's speaking
yeah.
of. And
He's
his
saying that we
feet are
dope.
kicked up.
Yeah.
Exactly. We appreciate that, Mr. McQueen. So, with you checking us out, let's go ahead and get right into some football ish. Let's go ahead and pick us up right where we left off last night on Monday Night Football. Rams and Cardinals, hell of a ending for that game. Ish, I don't know about you, but the way that game ended, it just left a sour taste in my mouth with the Cardinals because I don't know about you, but a lot of people are expecting this Cardinals team to be a Super Bowl type of team. And for you to end this game the way that it did, this remind everybody, this is not the first time that the Cardinals kind of had a, let's just say, a ugly drive to end the game. The first time that it happened was earlier in the season where Kyler Murray threw an interception to AJ, trying to throw a touchdown to AJ Green. It looked like they just miscommunicated amongst each other and ended up throwing a game-losing interception. In this game, the drive that they had to try to tie the game up, it just looked like it was a grade school type of team, and it just looked like they weren't prepared for that moment. So I'm more worried about just that drive alone than I am actually of the team of the Cardinals. I know that they are equipped on both sides of the ball to make a run ish. We talked about this in the pre-show, but I'm just worried about will the lack of postseason success over the last 10 years without Kurt Warner, will that be something that hangs over their head as them not being able to take the next step? We look at this Cardinals team, we know they're good, but we want them to be great ish. Can they do that with the team that they have now moving forward in this NFL season?
I mean, yeah, they can. I think they've got the pieces there to make a run. They've got the pieces there to make it to a Super Bowl and potentially win a Super Bowl. Really, what it comes down to is the consistency. I think that's the big problem that they have at the moment, even though they're currently sitting at 10-3. I think if you have watched the Cardinals throughout the season, especially in this game last night, they're just very inconsistent. The game did end a lot closer than, I mean, to me, it seemed throughout the entire game. Honestly, you're talking about the last drive, but that offense looked out of sorts throughout the game. I mean, even with Kyler Murray throwing for 383 yards, no touchdowns, two interceptions. I mean, it just didn't look good. It didn't look good. Yeah, he has the yardage, but it was all over the place. It was up and down. Drives weren't sustained at times. Then there were times where they looked really good. I just I don't know what Cardinal team is going to come out every week. Now, are they able to pull results out? Yeah, because they're currently sitting second in the NFC standings. But at the same time, we know playoff time is it's a different time of year. It's a different type of game. One mistake can cost you your entire season. And for the Cardinals, I think really it's not a question of whether or not they have the talent. It's a question of whether or not they're going to get in their own way, I think. Because I do think at times they tend to make these mistakes that really, when you look at it, you're like, why? How did this happen? Even Cliff Kingsbury at times he calls plays in certain situations where you're kind of thinking, why take the risk when you could just do something simple? I think he's kind of trying to prove a point at this junction. So I don't know for the Cardinals. I know that they have the talent. I just don't know if they're going to be able to pull it out, as you say.
No, everything you're saying is 100% factuals. And before I get into my spiel, let's get to the comment section right quick because this great comment from Lee is pretty much everything that I said to you before we came out to the show. Ish, he says, I don't know about y'all, but the Rams made a statement. 5 starters getting ruled out for COVID protocol the day prior. Sheesh. Like Lee said, I mean, I talked to you about this before the show. Ish, for the Rams to go into Arizona, they already lost the game early in the season to the Cardinals at home. This was a must-win game for the Rams, confident-wise, moving on into the rest of the season because they've lost games recently, especially last week against the division foe, against the 49ers, who a lot of people thought were left for dead. Now they're making a charge again, right? And for the Rams, they thought that they were going to be the big dog this year because you got Stafford, you got now OBJ throughout the season, and also, of course, Von Miller. And now again, you come to Phoenix, and the way to win the game is you have to pretty much go into a dogfight, and that's what they did. And I don't know if anybody remember that first play of the game when Aaron Donald just shot up the middle of the field. He set the tone on the first play of the game, the first drive, that was going to be a different game, and it was led by that defense. And the only way the Rams have a chance in the playoffs is if that defense plays to the caliber that they are supposed to play. Because any quarterback in the league, I don't care who you are, will be worried about a guy that's named Aaron Donald and Von Miller across from you,
Miller, yeah.
and then also throwing a pass, especially if it's a heir apparent pass to a guy named Jalen Ramsey as well too. So that defense does scare people. It's the defense be consistent enough and actually hold people to 1 or 2 possessions a game, as in 9 to 14 points. Or will they give up 20 to 30 points again? Because even though they played very, very good defense on Kyler Murray, like you said, he still threw for 383 yards and had 23 points. So just imagine if Kyler Murray was on. So it's one of those things where it's hard to believe in the Rams right now because they still have these shiny new toys that they're still trying to implement within both sides of the football. But we did see more highlights and more glimpses of Odell Beckham Jr. in this offense. And I was liking what I was seeing amongst Odell besides the touchdown celebration. If you don't know, of course, go check out your local Twitter, and you'll still see plenty of videos of your local urban response team out here doing the drills that can keep you safe from people that's trying to come up on you and put a gun to your neck. But besides that, it's funny because we're going to get into this very soon. Odell Beckham the problem, or is other pieces the problem in Cleveland? Again, we'll get to that very soon because Odell Beckham now has 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games with the Rams. He only had 7 touchdowns in 3 years with the Browns. So, I'm about to segue this into another game, but is this Odell's problem with the Rams, or was this something that both sides needed? I'm sorry, with the Browns, or was this both sides needed to let go of one another to free each other, the Browns also Odell, to move on to other and bigger things?
I don't think. I think that it was a combination of the two things. I think clearly Odell wasn't a good fit in Cleveland, only from the standpoint of I think the situation was very different than the situation he faces in LA. I think that he was relied upon a lot more in Cleveland, and as a result, they tried to force things to him. They tried to get some plays. I think early on they were trying to get plays called for him to get him the ball, and it was creating situations that just weren't working out for the team. I think as it got later in his career, they kind of knew that they wanted to move on from him, so they weren't as worried about trying to force the ball to him. Um, and it kind of resulted in people questioning whether or not he had the skills. I think in LA he benefits because you have a Cooper Cup there. You have some other pieces that help you from a standpoint of I don't think the spotlight is 100% on Odell. I don't think he's being asked to carry the load the way he was being asked to carry the load in Cleveland. And so Matt Stafford doesn't have to force him the ball. He can find him. And you have to give some credit to Sean McVay and the offensive mind that he has, right? Like, there's a reason why the league went crazy when he became a head coach in LA and what he was able to do with that offense and with Jared Goff. And you have to say, it does make a difference to have a coach that is able to scheme in a way where they can work you into that scheme without completely turning the offense over. So, like I said, I think it's a combination of things. It's not necessarily Odell was at fault or the Browns were at fault. I just think it wasn't a good fit, and it's a much better fit clearly in LA. He's got better assets around him. Matt Stafford versus Baker Mayfield. I don't think anybody's going to debate there who's the better quarterback. So yeah, it's just he's in a better situation now, better for both sides. The Browns were still able to, do what they've been doing, although they've had injuries that have hurt them since he's left. But yeah,
Well, as you can hear, yes, Baker Mayfield is the problem and not Odell.
oh my
And we're
gosh,
gonna
I
we're
did
gonna keep
not
it
say
we're
that.
gonna keep
I
it
did not
short and
say
sweet
that.
now because it
Oh
went
my
around the
gosh,
bush. He went
no, I
all
didn't say
around the
that.
bush and
Nope,
came
I
right
didn't
back
say
to
that.
pretty much say it's Baker's fault.
I
That's
didn't
it,
say
not
that.
Odell.
I didn't
So we're
say
gonna
that.
move on to the Baker problem. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the Rams, the Ravens and the Browns game because we're gonna segue right into Odell's former team, the Cleveland Browns. Because let's be real, you're being a little modest when it comes to Baker Mayfield. But I want to get this comment right quick from Fox One on YouTube. He says it was good to see OBJ get his this week. I thought McVay was going to fold with all the people they have brought in. Hey, I understand, and I definitely understand where you're coming from on that fracture wall number. But you got to give credit where credit is due. Sean McVay's been in the league for 5 seasons now. He's been in the playoffs 5 years. He's had 5 winning seasons so far. He's been to the Super Bowl. To have that type of start so far, I mean, that is John Harbaugh-esque. That's Jim Harbaugh-esque. That's Mike Tomlin-esque. That's these young coaches that come in and play and do really decent jobs their first couple of years to where these guys are still around and they are guys that we you would trust with a football team. McVay might be one of Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan. Those are two guys that came in together and been pretty successful. McVay hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, and it's hard to win one. But you just gotta give these guys some time. We talked about this last week. This week, these with quarterbacks, we can't expect every quarterback to be Deshaun Watson, Andrew Luck, Cam Newton his first couple years. And we can't expect every quarterback to be like that. Even Tom Brady wasn't like that until his fifth, sixth, seventh year in the league, right? So we have to give some of these guys a little time. We gotta learn and grow with these guys the same way we learn and grow with our family. So let's give these guys a little break. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's get back to these games though before we run out of time tonight. Ravens Browns. As you can see, I picked the Browns to win this game. Ish picked the Ravens. Stanley the Browns because of due desperation for what the Browns have at the moment. Me and Ish called the AFC North the division that no one wants to win because every week, every team is literally going from fourth place to first place to third, back to worst, back to first. I don't know what's going on in that division, but nobody wants it. And at the moment, I can't even tell you, I can't give you a division winner because even though the Ravens are winning the division right now, would hurt Lamar Jackson? Does that really mean that they're going to win the division? With the Browns, you don't know what Baker Mayfield you're going to get. You know the running game going to be there, but you don't know what Baker Mayfield you're going to get. The defense is going to show up. And then with Cincinnati, we we think they're going to show up. I mean, maybe yes, and then they don't show up. So I don't know with that. And Pittsburgh don't give a with them. You don't deserve to be talked about right now, Pittsburgh. So with the Ravens and Browns, what did you get out of this game?
What did I get out of this game? Ravens fans, y'all better be praying that y'all figure something out, because right now, if I'm looking at the Ravens' remaining schedule, the Ravens might not make the playoffs. Let's just be honest right now. I picked the Ravens in this game because I felt like the Ravens, this was one of the games that the Ravens really needed to win on the back half of the schedule in order to ensure themselves a chance at the playoffs. I know a lot of people might think I'm crazy. They might say, oh, but they're leading the AFC North right now. Yeah, they're leading it right now. But with the bum Lamar Jackson and the remaining schedule of Green Bay at home, Cincinnati on the road, LA, the Rams at home, and the Steelers at home, that is not the best schedule for this team. Let's talk about Green Bay versus Baltimore. I don't necessarily think Baltimore is going to win that game. Cincinnati, let me just recall to week 7 when Cincinnati they went to Baltimore and put up 41 on the Ravens, 41-17. So if you think that's going to be an easy win, even with the Bengals being, up and down as they have been lately, that's not an easy win. Then you got the Los Angeles Rams, who we just got finished talking about, who it seems like they're starting to turn things around for the playoffs and get ready. And Matt Stafford is trying to, cement himself as a Hall of Famer, right? And you got the Pittsburgh Steelers to close out the season, which Pittsburgh, as much as we like to talk about how, bad the situation is currently in Pittsburgh, they are still somewhat in the conversation. And let's not mention
Yeah.
this rivalry. They will be petty enough to
Oh, they will
want
be
to
petty.
spoil
Oh,
it.
they will be petty.
So
Oh, I 100%
that
agree.
game, you already know they did beat Baltimore already, 20-19. So you never know with that game. So for me, if I'm a Baltimore fan, what I got from this game is that goodness, we dropped the ball and we could miss the playoffs.
No, you're 100% correct. Fractual Walnut says 1-4 through the next 5 games. He also says Browns got lucky. Lamar getting hurt. I agree with you, Fractual Walnut, on that. I mean, I feel like when they even with a healthy Lamar, just because of what I saw from the previous matchup with Lamar, just I ain't getting not even. And I'll be honest with you, not even the previous matchup, just the way Lamar's been playing since the Miami Dolphins game.
Yes,
It
it seems like the league has found him out since that Dolphins game.
But it's not even just it's not, I don't ish. I wouldn't say that. I will say for this season, just due to the lack of weapons and due to him being pretty much the only weapon they have on offense, a consistent weapon, that it puts him in a situation where he is literally backyard football for him, and it is just Lamar go make plays out there for us. But that also goes on coaching, not putting him in position to get the ball out to other players that can be successful on your offense. Because besides Hollywood Brown, y'all tell me y'all can't get no other receivers or running backs out there to make something happen.
Hold on. I don't like this lack of weapons talk that we got going on, because for a long time I kept hearing from Ravens fans,
here we go.
Rashad Bateman's about to come back. Rashad Bateman's about to come back. Bateman did come back. He had 7 receptions for 103 yards. Mark Andrews, 11 receptions for 115. Marquise Brown, I mean, he's doing Marquise Brown things, 5 receptions, 41 yards. They've got the weapons there. The only thing they're missing really at this moment is the running back position. They are working with Devontae Freeman, who he's still performing pretty well. So, I mean, let's not act as if that this team really is lacking on the offensive side. Really, their issue is more so on the defensive side than it is the offensive side, and the defense is actually showing up and playing pretty well throughout the season. It's the offense that, for some reason, you can't tell me that the lack of running back is what is causing this situation. No, the situation is being caused because the Miami Dolphins started blitzing Lamar Jackson and showed the rest of the league if you bring pressure, he is not able to show that passing efficiency that he was showing earlier in the season that we were giving him credit for, that we were talking about. Oh man, it looks like he's gotten so much better in the pocket and everything. Well, apparently, if you bring the pressure, he can't do anything close to what he was doing before. And ever since that Miami game, once again, let's point out, since the Miami game, they have scored 16, 16, 19, and now 22. And the 22
Yeah,
came when Lamar wasn't even playing most of the game.
playing. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what to say. The offense isn't working at the moment. What are they going to do to fix that? I have no idea. Is Lamar going to be able to play against Green Bay this week? Let's hope so. I mean, Huntley didn't play bad, but I mean, you still want Lamar to play. So it's not looking good for Baltimore. I think for Cleveland, hey, you guys have somehow managed to sneak back into this AFC North race because no one wants to win it. Same thing with Cincinnati. And hey, Cleveland, this is a big win for them. They might actually go on to win this division if they are able to, continue in this path. I don't know that they are. They are kind of lucky in that they got the Raiders. But then outside of that, they got the Packers, the Steelers, and the Bengals. So again, a lot of divisional games left for these teams in the AFC North.
Fracture One Axel says that's why I asked last week if this is John's last season. It's just right, all coaching issues plus injuries. Look, I understand where you're coming from, but the Ravens aren't going to do business that way. If this was some other sad ass franchise out here in the NFL, they probably would because that's why they're a sad ass franchise. But the Ravens are out here actually winning Super Bowls and winning and becoming a stable franchise. And I don't see them doing that because firing a guy like Harbaugh, that would be an emotional based reaction off of one season instead of looking at the bigger picture and realizing what he's done in the past, what he's done right now, and what he can do with Lamar. Maybe one more season. If you don't like what you see, then maybe you can make a change moving forward. But let's all remind everybody though. John Harbaugh said from the beginning that he was all in on Lamar. He would change everything he needed to do before that he was implementing certain packages for Lamar to make sure that he was going to be utilized in the best way possible. Yes, they did start Joe Flacco first before Lamar came in and did what he did, but it wasn't like they got Lamar and were just like, we're going to make him a pocket passer. We're going to find a way to make him a NFL quarterback. No, they said, no, utilize your skills, run the ball, dude. So they've supported Lamar since day one. That's not the problem. The problem is they've had a lot of injuries, and it's. I really would like to see how the Ravens would look if they had just maybe a J.K. Dobbins. Maybe if they had one or two of these running backs to see, maybe it wouldn't be as bad. Maybe they won 10 games, and it doesn't look like John Harbaugh is going to get fired. That's all I'm saying.
So
I'm listening to
I actually agree with you. I don't think this is last year. He's actually on the third year of a 4-year contract. So next year is his last year.
Yeah,
under
that'd be his
contract.
last year. Yeah.
I think that next year is probably his last year. I think they will give him another year. Like you said, some people really want to see how they look with J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, some of these other guys.
Yeah.
Also, with the defensive pieces back, what are they able to do? So I think he will get that last year of the contract, and then from there, we'll see as they come out next season if they play really well early on. Maybe he gets an extension, another 2 years or so. But yeah, I think he's gonna at least make it to the next year. But there is another coach who I was a little more confident on that we're gonna talk about later on. That
All right, no
I don't
problem. I
think
like
he's gonna
that.
make it.
Okay, I like that. I like that. A little segue into another topic. Let me get into this game right quick though. Which, if you did check out the pregame show and X Talking Ish, I did state that this probably would be the best game to check out on that West Coast swing. And excuse me. And for the second week in a row, your boy X was right. This 49er bingo game, of course, went to overtime, and not just went to overtime. Both teams decided to score on in overtime, and it made the game that much fun to watch. Shout out to Ish for making his pick for the 49ers in this game. I'll say my little spill on this one. Of course, I picked the Bengals due to, again, if you checked me out on the pregame show on Sunday, I said that for the Bengals, this was their second opportunity in back-to-back weeks to show everyone that, yeah, even though y'all are young, as Beyonce would say, even though you're young, you're ready, right? At the end of the day, we wanted to see these Bengals cats, these young cats, grow up right in front of our eyes, and unfortunately, it didn't happen on Sunday. But it gives them tape, and it gives them an opportunity to look back on and say, hey, this will never happen again. In year three, this will never happen again to us because of whatever the piece they add on, the toughness that they bring to Cincinnati. It will look completely different in year three than it does in I call this year one for Burrow because he got hurt last year. So in year two of the next year or year three, the Cincinnati Bengals team might be what it used to be with Carson Palmer, TJ Houshmandzadeh, and Chad Johnson days. But right now, for them to lose this game, it makes me really look at the Niners a lot differently because we've already known that when their guys are on Kittle, Jimmy Garoppolo and Debo, hey, they are on when it comes to having a decent offense, but their defense is what, of course, helps everything too. And for some weird reason, this season the 49ers play so much better away than they do at home, and they love playing teams in their home so they can spoil the night. So for the 49ers to go into Cincinnati, get this win, for real, shout out to them. I want to check them out and see what they continue to do in the NFC to see if they can make that second half run and maybe be that team to upset, again, said Cardinals, maybe the Rams or whoever it is that they match up with. Maybe they can be that spoiler team, especially because they have a coach named Kyle Shanahan who's not who's not living off his daddy's name anymore, who's out here making a name for himself. Ish.
Yeah, the for me, the Bengals are still, as you said, too young. You said it was a chance for them to show they're ready. Clearly, they're not ready. They needed this experience. They need a little bit more maturing, a little bit more time to season, a little more seasoning.
They had they
So
had they had to get cooked in that pot a little bit longer.
yeah,
A
they
little
need
longer.
a little bit longer in the oven. But for me, I was excited to see the return of George Kittle. Brandon Ayuk made a wonderful appearance. He scored a touchdown in this game. I think it's going to be big how those three, Samuel, Ayuk, and Kittle, perform moving forward for the 49ers and whether or not they're able to make noise. Currently, they're in the playoffs, but it is a very close race, so they're not going to be able to drop any games. Unfortunately for the Bengals, just returning to them real quick, I don't think that they're going to be able to make the playoffs after dropping
I
that
don't
game.
either.
Even if they're able to beat the Broncos this week, they still have the Ravens, which that's a close one. If depends on if Lamar is healthy or not, I think is gonna really help with that game. The Chiefs week 17, seem to be turning the corner and really heating up now. And then you end on the road with the Browns, who played the Ravens really tough and also appear to be kind of rounding into form. So I just don't know that this young team is going to be able to pull out those games. I think this game was an indication that they just aren't able to really, they're not over that hump just yet. Like we talk about with Justin
Yeah,
Herbert and
yeah.
the LA Chargers, I think it's very similar. We always kind of compare the two teams. I think it's very similar in that state. They're just not ready. Um, let's see. They've got the pedigree in San
They do.
Francisco.
They do. They do.
They've been to a Super Bowl
They're Super Bowl
before.
with
They
that with
know how
that
to
with
get
that
there.
core.
Um, it's just gonna be how do you play it out going into these last couple weeks. You got the Falcons, which is nice to have.
Should be a win. Should
You
be a
got the
win.
Titans on the road, which
It
is kind of
depends on how we
close.
play. Yeah,
Yeah,
depends on
that's
how we
gonna be
play that game.
interesting. You got the Texans, which
Should be a dub.
don't go lose that game. Come on now. And then you finish on the road with the Rams. Hopefully, if you're able to take care of business in 15, 16, 17, you're not even really worried about 18, right? Like that's just going to be a seeding game. But
Yep.
if you don't, it could come down to that last week, and I would hate for it to come down to on the road against the Rams.
Let's get to this comment right quick from Lee because you talked about it, and I'm gonna talk about it a little bit as well too. He says Kettle being back and healthy is such a difference maker. What can't
Oh
that
yeah,
man do? Good grief, they've been missing him a ton this year. Sounds like to me Lee's over here having tight end love because of course he loves his tight end, Mr. Kelsey. This seems like they are 1 and 2 out here in the tight end world. For depends on how you look at him. Some people love Kelsey more than Kittle. Some people love Kittle more than Kelsey. Mr. Kittle out here with 13 catches, 151 yards, and a tug. You're correct, Ish. When he's out there playing him, Ayuk and Debo, when they're all playing, I mean, it makes a world
that's
of a difference on the
dangerous.
offense because you have Debo across the middle, you got Kittle across the middle, but underneath, and then you got Ayuk who's not just down the sideline, he's running behind backfield for reverses, screens, and it makes the offense just that much more difficult to stop because you know they're going to run the ball.
Yep.
They're going to run the ball, but they also can pass the ball as well too, and they don't need Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, or Pat Mahomes to run that offense. They just need Jimmy G not to mess it up. So, hey Jimmy G, it's on you. Let's go ahead and move on to another game. Bang bang Niner gang out here. Uh, this game though, um, there was a lot of talk going into this game, and for this team to do what they did before this game started, I was confused. I respected it, but I was confused. And what I mean by that is the Cowboys versus the Washington football team. The Cowboys are flying their own business
Oh my gosh.
from Dallas. Unfortunately, Ish wasn't on the pregame show with us on Sunday, but for them to fly in their own bitches from Dallas to sit on in Maryland, maybe because they're so disgusted with the Washington football team that they don't want anything to do with them as a franchise. It was bold. It was unique. It was hilarious, and it was different. And I was all in for it because all I wanted the Cowboys to do was to back they shit up. If you're gonna guarantee a win because you got the talent, if you're gonna bring in your benches, if you're gonna fly in on your $1 billion jet, I need y'all mugs to come out here and show up and show out. And that's what they did. And I respected it, and it was led by the defense. It was the defense that did what they did. And if you are Cowboy fans out here, seems like for some reason y'all are more worried about the defensive player of the year, and I'm talking about Micah Parsons, than y'all are actually about making a Super Bowl. I'll get into that very shortly. But the Cowboys defensively played well. The offense talked about this in the pregame show. Ish. That's what I'm more worried about more than anything. Dak Prescott does not look like Dak Prescott of old, and by old I mean just 4 weeks ago, before 4 or 5 weeks ago, before his second injury of the season. And does it seem like Ish that this injury might be lingering on to where it's not just a minor thing? Could Dak and maybe even Zeke be the reason why the Cowboys are not able to make a Super Bowl run due to them? It seemed like might be breaking down this season.
No, I don't think so. I think that it's a long season. There's a lot that goes on and goes into the season. There are a lot of lulls in the season. I think for this Cowboys offense, I think I said it a week ago or 2 weeks ago. They just need to get everybody healthy. They need to get that time to just kind of get things healthy, recollect themselves, and then go back out and continue to do what they do. Take it one game at a time. I'm not too concerned. It hasn't looked good. It's been kind of up and down. Dak is starting to show some. Um, I
Regression.
don't want to say regression. I want to say he's showing some wear or some fatigue. He's showing some fatigue.
Do you? I
And
have
I
a
think
question
that's
for you. Because
Go ahead.
I watched Hard Knocks this season, and one thing they do love about Dak, but they also do worry about, is that he might overwork himself a little bit too much. He might be somebody that wants to put in the work so much that you tire yourself out when it's time to actually put up the work that you've been putting out during the off season. And could that be a factor ish to where, like you're saying, maybe he's putting so much work on himself that he's burning himself out?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think so because another thing that you have to think about, and I don't think it gets talked about enough, anybody that comes back from an injury or has an injury or anything, there is rehab that you have to do on top of any of the other stuff that you're doing throughout the week, right? So on top of film, on top of practice and everything else, you have rehab that is mandatory that you must go to. You must do that. And especially with the type of injuries that Dak has had, is very important that he continues his rehab and that he's able to go in, get the shoulder checked out, get the ankle checked out, make sure that everything looks good, make sure that he's not, building up any bad habits on those things. And I think that as a result, it can carry into the season even once you are 100% healthy, where you continue some of those extra things just to make sure that you're good, right? Because you don't want a relapse or anything to happen. And I think from a Dak standpoint, yeah, that's one of the things that he may be guilty of, overworking himself, trying too hard, trying to prevent things from happening. And in a situation like this, he's actually wearing himself down. But once again, I think that it all just depends. If they can wrap up this NFC East title, which this win was a big win for them because the team behind them right now is the Washington football team. Technically, the Eagles have the same record, but they lose the head-to-head. So for me, it's really important that they wrap this division up as soon as possible, because if you can sit Dak maybe week 17, week 18, I think that they will benefit from that rest. So wrap the division up and then go ahead and rest your guys against the Eagles. That'd be the ultimate disrespect, because who care about the Eagles anyway?
Hey, I'll get into that. Yeah, I'll get into that very shortly because I had a conversation with an Eagles fan earlier today, and I'll let you know what happened. But anyways, Fracture Walnut on Facebook, on YouTube says, Cowboys put up and didn't shut up this week. I was impressed by the win. He also says, run U2 and yes, X, Dak seems nervous to put the ankle at risk, which is totally understandable. And he also says this comment. He says, I now understand why owners don't want to give big contracts to running backs. Now, I will say yes and no to that. You are about 8% correct on that one, Fracture Walnut, because, yes, for some reason over the last 15 years, this notion of not trying to pay running backs anymore for some reason is just not.
I wouldn't pay.
I don't know. I understand where everybody's coming from, but for some reason, again, running backs are not getting the love that they should be. But we talk on this show every week how valuable the running game is. I'm not saying that the two running back system is. I'm not saying our two running back system isn't possible. I'm just saying everybody else gets injured too, every position, right? And offensive linemen get hit every play, and they getting big contracts. Wide receivers, of course, get big. Quarterbacks are getting big contracts. I know it's different, everybody's right. I know that it is hard to give big contracts to running backs now. Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry's gotten hurt this season.
Derrick
Henry. I know. Zeke,
Alvin Kamara, not
yes.
fault, but Alvin Kamara.
I got it. But what I'm saying is, as well, is if we keep on doing this to the running back position, we're going to make it to where the running back position doesn't exist anymore. And I hope that doesn't happen, because
what do you mean we're going to make it to where?
What I'm saying is, just remember 10 years ago when Jimmy Graham was playing with the Saints and he was trying to get paid as a wide receiver instead of tight end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why 10 years later, why Taysom Hill get an exclusive all-position paid player contract, depending everything based off of what position he's played, even though he's not nowhere near of a Hall of Fame type of player that Jimmy Graham was at one point in time.
The
You're
organization
100%
likes him.
correct.
They're
You're
gonna make it
100%
work
correct.
for him because they
You're
like him.
100% correct. You're 100% correct. And also the head coach, of course, loves him as well. But my point is certain positions don't get the same amount of love. Some positions get more love, quarterback, than other positions. But we all know as a team, playing in football, no matter if you're playing little league all the way to NFL, we all need one, right? We all need one to be able to make the team go, right?
Let me tell you why
I'm
what you're
listening.
saying doesn't make any sense. Because the one position that you can pretty much go out, put a flyer, and find somebody, and they
Oh
normally
Lord,
can step in, is the
long
running back
snapper,
position. It's the
long
running back.
snapper.
It's the running back position. Unfortunately for running backs, you can go draft a running back in the fourth, fifth round, and that running back can come and be a star. You can it can be an undrafted running back, and they can come and be a star. You don't see
Hold
that
on.
at the
Can
wide
you
receiver
see?
position.
Can you see it at the quarterback position?
You don't see it at the wide receiver position. You don't see it at the quarterback position. You don't see it at even on the line.
So you
You're
tell
talking about
me. So you
linemen
tell
getting big
me.
contracts.
So
You
you
don't see
tell
it
me a
on the
guy.
line.
You tell me a guy that's about to have a movie come out on Christmas named Kurt Warner that wasn't in the grocery store working, and then all of a sudden he became an NFL player, went to the Super
It
Bowl, won the
doesn't
Super Bowl.
happen as frequently as it does at running back.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm telling
I'm
you.
just asking though. I'm just throwing out
I'm just
facts.
telling you. I'm just telling you it doesn't happen as frequently as it does at running back, and
I'm
that's the
just
problem with running back. That's why you can't give a running back a large contract
I'm
because why
tracking.
would I give a running back a large contract when I can go in the third round next year and draft a guy that can replace you? I mean, granted, there are certain running backs that are in a different class, right? Ezekiel Elliott, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara. Those guys have earned the right to a bigger contract because of what they are able to do. However, we have seen in the past couple of years when they have been granted those larger contracts, well, it hasn't boded too well for the organization because let's look at Christian McCaffrey in Carolina. While everybody at the time agreed that he deserved the contract, what has he done since he has received that contract? Oh, just get hurt every single year. So
I got
good,
you.
hooray for that. Alvin Kamara, no fault to his own, but since Drew Brees has retired, I mean, he's trying to carry the offense on his own. And unfortunately, when Taysom Hill is your quarterback, that's not going to go too well for you. So that hasn't worked out. And Zeke, I mean, I don't know what really happened with him, but he does not seem to be the runner that he was a couple of years ago, back when there were talks about him being the highest paid running back and everything. So it just goes to show you just don't pay running backs. Le'Veon Bell tried to die on that hill for all of the running backs out there, and
Le'Veon did it with the wrong team. He over here trying to extort money from the Jets. That was the
where
wrong
where
team
where
doing
is
it.
where is Le'Veon at now? Where
That was
has
stupid.
anyone seen
That was
him?
stupid. That was
Has
stupid. He
anyone
should.
seen
If he
Le'Veon?
would have done with a better team, he had an opportunity, but not the Jets. He was stupid. All right, let me get this comment from Fracture Walnut, and let's move on because nobody wants to talk about this anymore. Because running backs should get paid. They need to get paid. But
No, they
anyways,
don't.
Fracture Walnut says, or you can do what the Falcons are doing with Patterson running back or Gibson in Washington. Hey, everybody ain't Patterson, and that's somebody we need to talk about a little bit more because if there was a award for best athlete of the year, Patterson will win
Oh, he
that
would
one
definitely have
because
that.
that boy
Hands
out here
down.
balling. That boy
Hands
out here
down.
balling, and for some reason he just keep getting slipped through the cracks of the NFL teams. I don't know why they don't keep him on certain. But hey, he's definitely. If it wasn't for Patterson being on the Falcons would be a 2-win team.
I
If
think it's a
that, maybe a
situation
one.
thing. Yeah, and I think
Oh yeah, like a oh no,
it
100%
worked out
the
for him,
situation.
right?
Oh, 100%. It's
It worked out
he's
because
lucky
they
enough to
needed
play with a
him.
bad team, and the
Yep.
bad team needs him to show up, and he's been showing up and showing out
He's been
because
showing up and
if
showing
he was
out.
playing with the Chiefs, he wouldn't be able to get those opportunities. It
Exactly.
is what it is. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to very, 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 very quickly, Ish. I'll let you talk about this because this was ugly and disrespectful from the beginning. I'm sorry, before the game
Yeah,
with the
before the game.
Raiders,
Let's talk about before the
Raiders
game.
trying to step and disrespect the Chiefs Arrowhead logo to at the end of the game with another 40 piece being put on the Raiders by the Chiefs, not 41 but 48 this time. I think the Chiefs made a statement to the Raiders that y'all need to shut the hell up because y'all not on our level. Y'all will not be on our level. And before y'all talk to us, worry about y'all's coaching situation before y'all worry about what's going on over here in Kansas City. That's just my take from the outside looking in. I'm gonna let you say your spill, and we're gonna go ahead and move on.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a good old fashioned putting someone in their place. The Raiders came into Kansas City for some reason. They thought that it would be a good idea to just be disrespectful. And we all know that when the Raiders play the Chiefs, for some reason, that's their Super Bowl in the year, right? They got two
Yeah.
Super Bowls in the year, and that's every time when they play the Chiefs. Well, this year, unfortunately for them, both of them ended with a 40 piece on them, and they deserve the 40 piece this week. I was actually asking for Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy to run the score up. It should have been higher than 48 because the Raiders deserved it. They needed to be put back in their place. I don't know what made them think that they should come out and be disrespectful and disrespect the Arrowhead, stand up on it was just nonsense. It was nonsense from a team that's
It
currently
was grade
last in the
school. It
division.
was grade
Yeah,
school
I mean
stuff.
it's y'all need to be worried about winning games instead of worried about doing stuff. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded
I'm
me of the
listening.
collapse in Pittsburgh last year when Juju was worried about dancing on logos instead of going out and playing football. That's what it seemed like to me. They were too worried about going out there and being on the logo and disrespecting it than playing a football game, and it showed because they ended up getting destroyed. So I don't even want to worry about them anymore. I don't even want to talk about them anymore. Chiefs are doing what they need to do. Keep going one game at a time. The encouraging thing from the Chiefs this game was the defense. If the defense can continue to play like this moving forward, man, oh man, is there going to be a problem on the league's hand? But other than that, yeah, same old, same old.
Yeah, like I stated to you on the pregame show, hey, the Chiefs defense is real. Three straight games with giving up 9 points. That is unreal. That is 2000 Ravens realm like, and if they can continue to do that,
This
um,
week is the test though against the Chargers.
it is, and I want to see what. I'm happy Fracture Rodner brought this up too because I was definitely thinking about that as well on my mind. But if the Chiefs are able to continue to keep on doing what they're doing, you got to pencil them in as a representation of the AFC Championship game, most likely in Arrowhead if they are the ones that are going to host that. Frank Warner also says, or when the Texans wore them Letterman jackets. Yes, that was a
Oh,
great day in
one
Texan
other quick
history.
note. The Chiefs winning that game
Representative.
has now made it pretty much a three-way tie at top of the AFC record-wise, with New
Hmm.
England sitting at 9-4, Tennessee sitting at 9-4, and Kansas City sitting at 9-4. So there is a race for the bye. And it is very important that the Chiefs continue to win. New England, clearly, they need to continue to win. And the Titans, I mean, hey, if the Titans can continue to do what they do until the King comes back, man, people need to be scared. People need to be scared. I don't know if enough people are talking about it, but if the Titans are sitting in first in the AFC and King Henry returns for the playoffs, I don't know if I'm feeling good if I'm any of these other teams out here.
And that's a great segue to the next game we're about to speak about very briefly because it's really not too much to talk about. 20-0 whooping from the Titans to the Jaguars. Besides Urban Meyer looking like a dead man walking on that team, that organization, the main takeaway I'll take from this is like I spoke to you ish in the pre-show. Tennessee Titans held the Jacksonville Jaguars to a franchise low 8 rushing yards. So man, this defense is finally getting back to. I'm hoping this is a start of what we need to get back to because the only way the Tennessee Titans are going to make a run, besides Derrick Henry coming back, is the defense has to step up. We just talked about the Chiefs defense stepping up, the Buccaneers defense stepping up, all these other teams that are trying to make a serious run. The Packers, the Rams, the Cardinals. If you want to make a run, to the Super Bowl, you have your defense has to step up. There's no way if you're going to win a Super Bowl, there's no way your team is going to give up 30 points a game. It's not going to happen. So for the Tennessee Titans to do what they did, that is very reassuring moving forward because they even though they had the easiest schedule, for some reason Tennessee Titans when they play easy teams they like to play down to the level and win the game. I don't know what it is. Lee also says, I don't care who you are, any shutout is impressive. Hats off. I respect that as well
Definitely,
too.
definitely.
But again, I'm not gonna hang my hat on this too much. It's next week. Let's see, because I don't know off the top of my head who we got. So let me see real quick.
Next week, this week y'all play the Steelers
Steelers, yeah, my bad. So
at
yeah, the Steelers
Pittsburgh.
at Pittsburgh, and the best thing about that game is that's another game where we should win. Again, because of everything that still are going on, even though it is in Pittsburgh, if the Titans want to be taken seriously, you got to take care of your business. You got to win that game and continue to keep on getting healthier as the playoffs approach. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Yes, of course.
Can I just say something real quick before you move on?
Of course.
I wanted to take this time out for everybody that does tune into the show, has been watching for a long time. In front of everyone here, I wanted to apologize to my co-host X. I called you a crazy man. I said that you were on drugs.
Are you talking about the health thing I talked about a couple weeks ago?
There are a lot of nasty things that I said to you earlier in the season. But I am now in agreement with you. I don't think Urban Meyer makes it to the end of the season.
Oh Lord!
I think if they lose at home to the Texans, he's got to go.
And I'm happy you brought this up. First of all, thank you, my brother, for finally coming to your senses. It took you a couple weeks. But I'm happy that you're here. That's why I'm here for you, my brother. I am here for you. I will be there for you thick and thin because I love you. But I will also say this as well, too. When I saw that the Texans were playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, I first, of course, named it the Total Bowl of the weekend. And it's fitting that both of these two bum-ass teams and bum-ass franchises playing against each other because, like you said, this could really be the beginning of the end for Urban Meyer as the head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I honestly think everybody in the NFL and also probably in the football world cannot wait for Urban Meyer to get the hell out of here. Please. Everybody is tired of you. Please fake another heart attack. I know you have some type of health complications coming up real soon. So do what you need to do, Urban. We know you really want to take that job at Oklahoma or USC. We know you really want to go to USC. Come on now. Come on, Urban. You know you want to entertain that. But we're going to let you off this time. Fractor One also said, I think Urban took this job just to say he coached in the NFL. I can see that. But do you want to take this L? I mean, I'll say this. At the end of the day, anybody throwing millions of dollars at you to do the things that you've been doing for 20 years, anybody gonna take that.
Right. Yeah, let me go take that real
You know what I mean? I was like, shit, $4 million to coaches this shit. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but shit, make sure them checks clear. Make sure them checks clear, though. You know? All right, let's go ahead and finish it up tonight because, to be honest with everybody, I know nobody want to talk about no Seahawks, Texans. Nobody want to talk about the Saints, Jets. Nobody want to talk about Falcons, Panthers. So, of course, we're going to finish it off with the Bills and Buccaneers. Or, I'm sorry, the second to last. We're going to finish it second to last Bills, Buccaneers. Of course, we're going to finish it off with the Bears and Packers Sunday night football game. But with this game, Bills and Buccaneers, surprisingly, I was very surprised that my brother here split this game. I was not expecting him to pick the Bills, especially the way that they performed last week. And Ish being a smart gentleman, he's a guy that he studies quantum physics, okay? He's a smart man. He doesn't study that, but I'm just letting y'all know if he wanted to, he could. And for him to know that quantum physics pretty much means that to get this round egg of a brown ball past the best goddamn run defense in the NFL with a team that can't produce a run game, period, because they had how many yards the first half-ish?
It don't matter.
No, I mean, but anyway, I must have forgot that it was 0 yards that they had in the first half of the damn game. But for some reason, Ish thought, I guess, the running game was just going to work against the Buccaneers, like the Colts running game worked against the Buccaneers a couple weeks ago. And I guess the Bills running game was just going to work against the Buccaneers, and that didn't happen. So with that being said, Ish, please tell me, not just you picking the Bills, please tell me everything that you saw in this game, did we learn more about the Bills or did we learn more about the Buccaneers?
I think we learned. I think it's at this point. I don't think there's much more we can learn about the Buccaneers. We know who the Buccaneers are. We know what they bring to the table. I think we learn more about the Bills. I think we learned that they had some fight to them. I mean, for all the noise.
Okay, can I revert the question? Can I revert the question to this? Forget that question. Can I? Are the Bills legitimate AFC Championship game chances over with? Because some people had this team going to the Super Bowl, and right now, this is not a Super Bowl team. So can they even make it to the AFC Championship game right now?
Well, no, I mean we talk about it all the time. Playoff time and cold weather time, you got to have a run game of some sort, and you got to be able to stop the run. And right now, the Bills are struggling a little bit on both of those fronts. So, can they make it to the AFC Championship game? Maybe if they kind of figure it out on offense. I don't think it's likely though. I don't think they're favorites anymore. I think they're not. I'm not even think. I know they're not favorites anymore in the AFC. They're definitely underdogs. They like to be the underdogs though, so maybe they're going to come out and perform better as the underdogs. Uh, they've still got to fight their way into the playoffs. Right now, they hold the playoff spot, but they're tied with Cleveland, who's on the outside looking in at 7-6. Cincinnati, who's on the outside looking in at 7-6. Pittsburgh's right behind them at 6-6. So I mean, Denver is 7-6 also as well. So right now they're in the playoffs, but they got a lot of people that they have the same record. So if they drop
Mm-hmm,
any more
mm-hmm.
games, they are gonna miss the playoffs. So while we're talking about them possibly making an AFC Championship game, we need to be talking about whether or not they're gonna make the playoffs. Luckily for them, they have the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Jets as three of their last four. They
Hey,
do have the Patriots on the road, but as long as they win the other three, they should be fine to make the playoffs. And then
I'm
it's
at a point. No, Ish. I'm at a point where
oh, here we
no,
go.
you gotta win all four.
No,
You
they
got to win all
don't.
four.
No,
Yes,
they
you do. You want
don't.
to know why? Ish, you want to know why? First of all, New England already busted your ass at home where you had
No,
everything perfect for you to win that game. No, 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 no,
doesn't
no, no,
matter.
no. We're going to keep this shit real here. No, 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 no,
No,
no.
it doesn't
You
matter.
should have won that game at home in Buffalo. You did not. You did not do that. These next three games are not automatic wins because with the Bills, we saw them lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars early in the season. Yes, you can roll your eyes and say, "Oh, that was an anomaly. That was whatever." I don't care. They still only put up 6 points that game. Okay,
Doesn't
so these next
matter.
three games are not for sure wins at all. New England, you win that game. If you can go 4-0, I give the Bills a little bit more of a
They just
okay,
got to go
maybe we
three
can
and
maybe
one.
we can trust them going into the playoffs. But if you go 3-1 and you lose to the Patriots again and get swept by them, you can first of all I can't trust the Bills right now.
They
But
just have
again,
to
if you
go
lose
three
to
and
the Patriots
one,
again,
man.
I don't trust the Bills, Ish. I can't.
Bruh, they just have to go 3-1. I don't know where you coming from with this 4-0
Okay,
business,
look,
bruh.
because it's a mental thing. Like I keep trying to tell all y'all, nobody wants to listen to me. It's all about
Bruh,
how you play
bruh,
towards the
it
end of the season.
doesn't
If the
matter.
Bills
They just
and
need
if
to
the
make
it
it.
do matter, it does matter. Wanna know why? Because if the Bills are not mentally ready going to the playoffs, guess who they can see first round in the playoffs? Maybe see the Patriots once again in Foxborough.
It don't
And if you
matter.
can, and if you can't beat them week 18, you think you're gonna beat them in the
It's hard.
playoffs?
It's hard to beat a
To beat a
team
team 3 times.
three
But guess what?
times in
Tennessee
the
Titans
season.
did and against Jacksonville Jaguars in 1999, and they went to the Super Bowl that year. So again, don't tell me what you can and can't do. You can do it, damn it.
I'm just saying it doesn't matter for them about 4-0 because let's think about it this way. They're tied with Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Denver on record, right? Well, luckily for them, Cincinnati plays Denver and Cleveland in the remaining four games. Cleveland obviously has to play Cincinnati and they play the Packers. So that's not good for them. I mean, the remaining schedule for the rest of these teams that are also tied at 7-6 is a lot worse than what Buffalo faces. So as long as Buffalo goes 3-1, Buffalo's in, and then they can worry about the
4-0.
upset mind and be all that mind and
4-0.
momentum, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. They just need to
4-0.
make it at this point.
If y'all agree with me out there that's tuning in, make sure y'all put up them
Yeah, throw your
fours
fours up.
because
Throw
the
your fours
Bills
up.
need to win all four games for anybody, especially for somebody like myself, to take them seriously
Oh my
because it
gosh.
ain't gonna
I'm not
happen.
saying we're gonna take them seriously, but
I'm saying we ain't gonna take them seriously if it ain't going 4-0. All
I'm not
right,
even
Lee
taking them seriously
says
if they go 4-0.
Lee says a Bills running back didn't even touch the ball till the final minutes of the second quarter. Yes, it's very true, and of course,
That's so
gained
sad.
0 yards. Hey, that's the Bills for you. I mean, that I'm tired of honestly talking about them. We about to move on,
Yeah, let's
finish up
move
with this
on.
last topic for the night before we get y'all up out of here. Bears and Packers Sunday night football game, aka the Aaron Rodgers I Own You Part 2 game for the season. And at one point in time, it looked like the Bears was like, not this game. We're gonna get you, A-Rod. And And A-Rod did what he does best. He went into halftime. He changed out outfits with his doppelganger in the stands, and he was out there slanging that thing. And I finally put it all together, Ish. I put it all together. I knew it. Y'all heard it here on X Talking Ish first, but I knew it when Aaron Rodgers told everybody that his toe was hurting more than turf toe. I told y'all on this show that there's no way impossible that he's out here throwing 350-yard games and 3 or 4 touchdowns with no picks with a belt toe, no surgery, no pins in his toe. There's no way this is going on. And then we watch Sunday Night Football. They got the cameras on Aaron Rodgers' doppelganger, and I told y'all right in there, boom. Aaron Rodgers been in the stands the whole time. The Aaron Rodgers on the field, that's not the real Aaron Rodgers. That's a clone. That ain't a Gucci clone. That's an Aaron Rodgers clone. So yes, right here as talking this, we're gonna break the news first. Aaron Rodgers got a clone. If you don't believe me, go look at what you saw on Lambeau. Bada bing, bada boom. I figured it out because this is bullshit. There's no way in hell that Aaron Rodgers out here slinging that thing every goddamn weekend. There's no way in hell he's slinging that thing every goddamn weekend.
You lost your mind.
That's how Aaron Rodgers is doing right now. That's what he's playing. He's lost his mind too. It's crazy.
You lost your mind.
So
he doesn't have a damn clone.
Oh, he got a clone.
He don't have a clone.
He got a clone.
That's why he was getting sacked in the first half because the toe is messed up.
Because why? Because he wasn't him in the first half. He switched out. He Clark Clinch y'all.
Right, he does not
switched out in the halftime, and bada bing, bada boom, you got Aaron Rodgers 2.0 in the second half. Bro. I'm telling y'all.
All right, he doesn't have.
So look, even fracture Wagner. He said right, and then the dude pointed at the camera and smiled. Exactly. Thank you, everybody. If you out there crazy with me and you understand what you saw,
He wouldn't risk revealing his clone against the Chicago Bears. Okay.
Do you not understand
even if he has a clone, he's not gonna risk.
Do you not understand how much smarter Aaron Rodgers is than us? Okay. Do you not understand he fights COVID off? He's immune to this. Okay. Do you not understand? Aaron Rodgers is he hangs out with Dana White and Joe Rogan. Okay, they know everything.
You know what?
Do you not understand this?
If Aaron Rodgers is able to have a clone, then Aaron Rodgers needs to tell his clone to go into Chicago and tell ownership or whoever over there is running the damn thing to fire Matt Nagy. It's time for Matt Nagy to go.
I knew this was coming sooner or later. Oh my goodness.
I'm done with Matt Nagy in Chicago. I'm done with what
Stop trying to get people fired, Ish.
Matt Nagy needs to. I'm not going to stop with Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy needs to go. I'm not going to stop until Matt Nagy is gone. Matt Nagy, he needs to leave now. He needs to be gone. He should have been gone yesterday. Okay.
Tell him, Fracture Walnut. No, you see that comment? He's telling you to relax.
I'm done with Matt Nagy in Chicago. Please bring someone else in there. Eric Bieniemy, please go to Chicago. Please go to Chicago. Somebody offensive minded, please go to Chicago and help them out. I mean, I actually like when the Bears do well. It warms my soul to see an old team like the Bears do well. And right now, I'm just sad because the Bears are playing like Dookie. It's bad, man. It's bad. Aaron Rodgers and his clone, congratulations. Mr. Slang That Thing for this week goes to Aaron Rodgers' clone and not Aaron Rodgers.
Alrighty then, with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap it up tonight because I know y'all trying to get in the bed like me. So let's go ahead and talk about these AFC playoff standings at the moment. Number one, who took the top spot? The Patriots are number one at the moment. Number two, the Tennessee Titans. Number three, the Kansas City Chiefs. Number four, the Baltimore Ravens. Number five, the LA Chargers. Number six, the Indianapolis Colts. And number seven, the Buffalo Bills. On the NFC side, number one, Green Bay Packers. Number two, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number three, Arizona Cardinals. Number four, Dallas Cowboys. Number five, the LA Rams. Number six, the San Francisco 49ers. And number seven, the team without a name, but we all love them to death, the Washington football team.
Wow.
All right, then let's also get into our weekly NFL pick'ems at the moment. X is leading 128 to 78 to 1, and Ish has 124 to 82 to 1. We always will thank the Detroit Lions for messing that up for both of us. And this week starts fantasy football for X Talking Ish, and in the playoff bracket. And as you can see, we only have 6 teams in the playoffs. And if you can zoom in just a tad, because Ish wants to make the blue a little hard to read, we have 2 byes with Smokey Joe and Colonel Flanders Chicken. And the teams that are in the playoffs at the moment is Kiss the Baby, Club Shay Shay, just another title run, Bishop Sycamore, and of course Smokey Joe. So, hey, right now these are the guys that are vying for a championship at the moment. I am in the toilet bowl, hoping not to be the toilet champion in that one. So,
yeah, we will reveal the toilet champion at the end.
That's perfectly fine. But of course, week by week, we'll keep y'all updated on how things are going in our weekly playoff bracket on that one. And other than that, hey, that is it for tonight. We appreciate everyone as always for tuning in on all social media platforms, and of course on our podcast, X Talking Ish, on all social media streaming platforms, wherever you listen to your podcast. We appreciate y'all as always. We will see y'all. Wait, before we go, my apologies. I knew I was going to forget, but I did. I'll let y'all on Saturday. Besides Thursday Night Football between the Chiefs and the Chargers on Saturday, we also have Raiders, Browns, and also Patriots, Colts. Both of those games should be pretty good games, because you have the Raiders not really fighting for playoffs, but Browns still trying to make it to the playoffs, or either win the division make the playoffs by winning the division, or maybe in a wild card spot. And of course, you have the Patriots and the Colts. It's in Indy, so the Patriots, I'm pretty sure they want to continue to show that they are real, and the Colts want to show everybody else that they are real as well too. So it'd be interesting to watch that game. Of course, you have your Sunday slate, and Monday Night Football will be Vikings and Bears. So we will do our show as always on Sunday. Unfortunately, on Saturday, we will not be able to do our show, so we will, of course, keep everything on Sunday. We do have some news on Sunday, so please make sure y'all join us on the pregame show. We do have some news because we might not be able to have a show next Monday. I'll let y'all know why, but Monday we will, of course, have Monday Night Football halftime show, and on Tuesday, of course, be here for our recap show as always at 9 o'clock on X Talking Ish. And Ish has that evil Grinch smile on his face, and I don't think he needs to have that. He needs to get that off his face. So, like I said, we will see y'all on Sunday, and we'll have some big news on Monday. All right, so then we love y'all as always.
Hopefully, Chiefs, reward me on my birthday with a win. I'll really appreciate that. I will really appreciate that. The Chiefs just need to go on and do their thing.
Ish is a Sagittarius, so you know how them Sagittarius be. They be wanting to have things their way. They're hard workers. They're go-getters. Yep, they're all that exactly. Good stuff. So do what you do, Ish. We're gonna hopefully wish for you not just a great birthday, but hopefully not a win, because the Kansas City Chiefs don't need to
No, we need a win. So we need a win.
We'll see what happens. All right, but seriously, this time we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. X Talking Ish. We will see y'all next time. Thank y'all.